into some shade. It's shite time, people. How are you? This is Rick with Apocalyptic. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for taking your time out of your life, your busy life, to give a little bit of attention to this stuff that I do. And, I'm trying to do it the best I can. Today, I'm all scratchy-throated. I don't know. I guess as I get older, allergies are getting worse. There was a time in my life I didn't have any allergies, and then I moved to Chattanooga, which I read was like one of the top 5 allergy places in the country. I believe at the time it was like two or three. And I didn't know it was allergies. I just started getting this sickness, and I would get bronchitis every year, and I had no idea what it was. And then I figured out it was allergies. But it's progressively gotten worse. It got a little better when I moved to Atlanta, actually. And so for a few years, I didn't feel any effects. And I was like, ooh, what a relief. And then it starts coming back. And now, it's kicked in worse. But it does give me a nice little DJ voice, which is useful if you're podcasting. How are you feeling out there? How's your allergy season going? How's your spring? What are you doing this spring? You just cough a lot and wipe your eyes, right? Watch the flowers grow. Clean the pollen off your car. Some people got snow this weekend, I heard. And I heard more is coming. I'm assuming us down here in the Atlanta area, we're kind of over the snow. It's been a little bit cool last couple days, but it's okay. Yeah. That's it. That's pretty much it. I am moving out of my studio at my art gallery, and I'm moving back into my studio here at the house, which is about half the space of the one I had in my gallery. But I'm renting my gallery space out for classroom spaces, so artists can teach classes and do workshops. So I'm vacating, moving here, and that's what I'm doing. It's just like moving. It's just like moving, which I hate. I moved so much, and then I finally bought a house and moved, and I was like, never going to move again. But here I am moving. So that's what I'm doing. Moving art supplies, art things, and there's so much junk. I got to get rid of junk. And not just that here at the house, just things I'm storing that I don't need. Do you do that? Like when I moved here, I don't know. Anytime you move, you're at a certain age and you stay for a while at that place. And you pack your stuff up and you just think, oh, I'm not going to use this for a little while. I'll put it away. And then when I need it again, I'll get it. And then you forget about it and just sits there. And I have tubs full of VHS tapes that I'm never going to watch. I don't even have a player. So I'm just not going to do anything with those. Even CDs. I do have a lot of DVDs. But now everything's streamed and you don't need those physical things anymore. I don't know that you do. I'm not that way with books. I do read a lot of digital books, Audible, and download books and stuff. But I love my books, so I keep my books. But there's just a lot of stuff I need to go through. Just get rid of stuff. I have duplicate tools. Like, who needs 6 hammers? Do you need that many hammers? Because my wife had several, I have several, and we're together. It's like the Brady Bunch of hammers. We just have lots and lots of hammers. I think I have Alice. I think I have the Alice of hammers. The hammer of Alice. The Alice of hammers. Actually, Sam was the hammer of Alice. Wait a minute. Who said that? That was wrong. Okay. Here's the thing. It's April, and I read one of my poems on the last show because this is National Poetry Month. Sorry. April's not a week. It's a month. It's 4 weeks. And I read, so here's what's really weird. So I was kind of going through some of my poems, and I found a poem that I do not have any recollection of ever writing. I did. It's in my collection. And the more I started reading it and kind of thinking about it, there's a little tiny section in my brain. And you got to remember how small that is. My brain's small anyway. And so this little section is even smaller, way back in there, that recalls something about this poem. I don't recall writing it at all, but I do kind of remember like a draft of it or something. So that's all I remember. And that's the good thing about getting old. It's because you forget things. Everything, so many things are new again. You know, you watch movies that you've seen a million times, but you forgot that you've seen it. You watch it, it's brand new. So this is a case of when I wrote something, and it's like I didn't write it. It's like someone else wrote it, so I can read it as if I'm reading someone else's poem. And it's kind of cool. It's like I wrote it, but yet someone else did. Best of both worlds. I got my peppermint tea today. No coffee, kind of off the coffee a while. Peppermint tea, little bit of Splenda in there. Just a little bit, just to give a little bit of sweetness. I actually kind of like it. All right, I'm going to read you this poem. This is a poem that I didn't even know. I don't remember writing. And I hope I did write it. That's the thing. What if I read this and somebody gets in touch with me and says, that's mine, and now you owe me royalties? Actually, I did. I know I wrote it. All right, here we go. It's called Choice, and I'm going to read this for National Poetry Month in April. You didn't ask to give. I didn't ask to take. These were given to us at birth. The advantage was mine, wrapped in silken white skin, the blur of a glowing world, my everything. Next to your crib, they placed a knife, your destiny forever. Affixed to that surgeon's edge, never your own. The cries from my mouth, hushed by the nipple, yours by syringe, the cold mother leaving you bare. Now, a grown man, I take the wheel and drive to your cell, your home, the land around your neck. All right, that's Choice. I wrote that. I wrote it. I'm not totally sure what I was thinking about when I wrote it. But anyway, there we go. I'm going to continue. You know, I did make a announcement last week. If anybody wanted me to read a poem, one of their poems for National Poetry Month, that I would do so. All you have to do is send it in. And I mean that. You. I'm talking to you, sitting there. Have a poem. Never read it before. Send it to me. You know the listener line, 678-348-0008. That is the listener line. You can call, leave a message if you want, or text. Here, let me ask you a question. Just do me a favor. Just text me and say, I'm listening. That's all I want you to do. If you're listening, text 678-348-0008. It's not a scam, just my listener line. Just text it and just say, I'm listening. That way I know that you're out there listening. You don't have to say anything. I won't put it on the air. But normally on that listener line, you can call in. Say anything you want, leave a comment, anything. I will put it on the podcast. Same with texting. But on this case, I just want to know if you're listening. You can also email me, rick@apocalyptic.com. Just email your poems if you want me to read them. Okay? I did get some poems this week. Our good friend Mike Poole sent some poetry. Now, here's the thing. I didn't know this. And I don't know Mike really well. He's hung out with us on some Zoom chats. He's bought some of my art, which I really appreciate. And we did an interview recently for his podcast. But he supported Life in a Kill podcast. He supported This Epic Disaster. And now he supports Apocalyptic, which is great. And I totally appreciate it. But he's a romantic dude. All of his poems they're romantic. I felt like I was looking at something I shouldn't be looking at. He's like the Rumi of American poetry. That's what I think. Do you know Rumi? Yeah. So that's Mike. So these are kind of romantic poems, and it's kind of cool. They're love poems. Poems about love. I feel like I should have a little soundtrack going here. But anyway, this first one is called Down or Up, and I'm going to read this by Mike Poole. There's one phrase that has always puzzled me. Falling in love. Is loving someone like jumping into a well? Crashing at the bottom means you're ready for marriage? If you ask me, no. People should know what love really is. The difference between love and infatuation must be clear. This is frequently called puppy love. This might be described as being in love with being in love. People shouldn't fall in love. They should be lifted. That's what it really happens. When one is in love, their life is lifted, be happiness and joy. Love should be viewed as a pedestal, not a hole. All right. What do you think? Do you feel all lovey, tingly? Yeah, I do. All right, Mike, cool. I'm gonna do one more by Mike Poole. This one is called Miles. Distance is only a matter of time. People shouldn't look at it as a barrier, but as a river that can be crossed together. Many have traveled miles for the one in which they love. We are lucky to be in this age of time where distance can be conquered in many ways in which I'm sure we'll both become familiar before the miles have come to pass and we are together, face to face, with only fractions of space between us. Okay, Miles by Mike Poole. Thank you, Mr. Poole, for donating some poetry to inspire all the people. That last one's, I've been in several long-distance relationships, so I can relate to that last one. Yeah. If you got a poem you want to send, I would love to read it in April here, National Poetry Month. You know what to do. Just send it to me. Hey, don't let Mike show you up, all right? I know you want to do what Mike did. WWMD, what would Mike do? Well, Mike would send some poetry to Apocalyptic, and I would like to read your poems on the air if you can. And I don't think I'm going to read any more of mine. I'm pretty sure I'm not going, unless you don't send anything. Did I, Mike? I was reading a story this weekend, not this weekend, this past week. I don't know why I said the weekend. The past week, I was reading a story about this dude, and I can't remember where he was. He was, I believe, a tour guide. And I think I want to say he was in Africa, but it could be in like Central America, like way, way down there somewhere. But I'm pretty sure it was Africa. I'm almost positive, but not positive. And he was on a river in a canoe, taking a group of people on a excursion, right? And they're out paddling around, and then up in front of them, they see, and I don't know the proper term, I'm going to say a herd of hippos. Of course I've heard of hippos. Yeah. And I don't know if you've read it, but I mean, I didn't know this for most of my life, but hippos are mean and vicious and very aggressive. I didn't know this. Fortunately, they're vegetarian, so they don't normally eat humans, but they will attack you. So this party, they're on their canoe and they see these hippos and they're like, uh-oh, let's kind of steer away. So they steer away. And the next thing they know, they're starting to kind of be pulled toward the hippos. And the canoe ends up getting toppled and the dude falls overboard. And right as a hippo was charging at them, he falls overboard. So he describes it as like falling into the water. And he was like, I could feel like from my waist, because he fell like, I guess, head first. And he said, I could feel like from my waist to my knees and legs, I could feel cold water. But from my waist to my head, there was like this warm, spongy feel, and it was really quiet. And it took him a couple of seconds, but he realized he was down a hippo's throat. Did you hear what I said? He was down a hippo's throat. Can you imagine being on a canoe, just having a good old time, just rafting down the water, and a little tip, boom, you're in a hippo's throat. God. Well, apparently the hippo didn't care for that too much, and he belched the guy back up. So the guy gets up, he tries to get back in, and he falls back over, and this time he goes legs first down the hippo's throat. So he's legs to waist down the hippo's throat. And the hippo tosses him out again. And then one more time, the hippo actually picks him up like a log in his mouth sideways. Now, I was reading that A hippo's jaw bite can actually snap a human in half. He could have just bit down and broken the guy right there. But for whatever reason, he didn't do it. The guy, I don't know if he was punching or flailing or what. But anyway, he spit the guy out. Someone grabbed him really quick, pulled him into the canoe, and they got out. So this guy was eaten 3 times by a hippo. 3 times. Can you imagine? Some people like get hit by lightning and they could tell that story. This guy could tell the story he'd been eaten by a hippo 3 times. It's like that Ace Ventura thing, remember? Well, that was a rhino, I'm sorry. But a hippo, anything that ends with O, probably not good. All right, so what I have here, it started making me think, this is the time of year when everybody gets out. Everybody likes to go on trips. Everybody, we want to look around, go hiking, swimming, doing all the things. And when we do that, we're basically in the backyard of these animals. It belongs to them. I always think it's weird when people set traps in their house for mice and rats and bugs. They don't know it's your house. They have no idea it's a house. They don't understand the concept of property. They're just where they are. They're just here. It's like, oh, this is good. Looks like a nice little place. Basically, they're doing what we do. We go into their house, have some fun. They're coming into our house and have some fun. We wouldn't want them setting a trap for us. They probably do sometimes, some of them. But we would think that was cruel, but we're okay with doing it to them. But it's the same thing. So we're basically in their house. So there's a lot of chances that we're taking. And so I found this website that gave a list of creatures, animals, wildlife, what you should do if you encounter them. This is a kind of a thing from me to you to help you out this summer if you encounter any of these. I hope you don't encounter any of them. But if you do, here's what you should do. If you encounter a bear, there's a good chance around where I am that there's a bear. Like where I used to live, where I grew up, Knoxville, a lot of bears, sort of, in the area. But just 2 hours away, Asheville, I've been seeing pictures of people posting of bears just walking down the street downtown. Black bears, they don't care in the Smoky Mountains. If you encounter a bear, back away slowly if it hasn't seen you. Man, it's going to smell you. They don't have to see you. If it has, talk to it in quiet tones. Yeah, read some of Mike Poole's poetry. They love that. If it charges, use bear spray. Oops, forgot my bear spray. And stand your ground. Yeah, that works. Act like the predator and not the prey. Often a bear charge will be a bluff. So when you really have to worry is if they got children, if they're like baby bears, Man, if it's a mom, no. If the bear makes contact with you, drop to the ground and play dead by covering the back of your neck with your hands and your face with your elbows. Play dead longer than you think, as a bear will try to sniff you. That's creepy. Getting up too early will catch the bear's interest again. That's like a murderer. When you always say that if you get shot and you're a survivor, you're going to pretend like you're dead. But you got to figure out the time, how long do you pretend like you're dead? You get up and go, oh, is he gone? And then he's standing there watching you. In the rare case the bear starts biting you, fight back with all you have. I don't even think they need to say that. I mean, either that or just like, all right, eat me. Eat me, bear. All right. Find a snake. Back away if it's just a snake. Just back away from a snake. I would jump away, I'm pretty sure. Most common poisonous snakes at least in this area, rattlesnakes, copperheads, and coppermouths. Never seen a rattlesnake. I don't think I've seen a coppermouth. I have seen copperheads. Give the snake as much space as possible. Don't need to tell me. Be calm and quiet. Move away from the area where the snake is located. If you're bit, seek a medical attention as quickly as possible. Some of these are obvious. You can't avoid snakes by checking logs and rocks before you sit down. Oh, I don't want to be bitten on the sit downer. Don't stick your hands inside logs. Quit doing that. Or large piles of rocks. When you step over a log, do so carefully. One of my favorite episodes of Remember the Crocodile Hunter, and I think he came to like North Carolina or Virginia, and he was looking for poisonous snakes. He was looking for them, and he would just go turn over logs and he found so many snakes that way. Scary. All right, a moose. I didn't know moose were dangerous. Moose are very dangerous. They'll kill you. Give moose the space. Kind of like me in my marriage in my 20s. I need my space. Unless it has a baby nearby, it'll likely leave you alone. Moose will usually give you warning signs before charging, like urinating. Okay. Here's a warning. Gonna potty. Tossing its head or smacking its lips. When a moose charges, run. Try to put a tree between yourself and the moose, as that will deter it. That's a good idea. If you get knocked down, get up and run again. You know, I think, was it Chumbawamba, whatever? They gave us that advice years ago. A moose's hooves are much more dangerous than their antlers. Did you know that? I didn't know that. If you encounter a deer or an elk, give it space. Giving the space tends to be the thing everybody needs. Much like a moose, deer and elk would rather run away than deal with humans. That's a good thing. They'll only charge if provoked. Calling them names and stuff. You don't want to do that. Hey, deer, you snowflake. You don't want to do that. Run away or climb a tree. If a deer is attacking you and you can't get away, play dead or tell them that you know Santa. If you get knocked down by the elk, get up and keep running. What is that advice? It's so weird. I'm just going to lay there. I'm just going to stay. Sorry. Give up. Mountain lion. Oh, crap. This is one that scares me. All right. Stand tall. Make loud noises while backing away slowly. Again, you don't want to give the lion any reason to think you're prey. Just keep saying, I'm not prey. There you go. You must act the part of a predator. Don't turn your back, run away, or crouch down. Don't pick anything up in front of the mountain lion. If a mountain lion attacks, fight back and protect your head and your neck. Bison. If you run into bison, you might run into bison. Don't think their size slows them down. Adult bison can reach speeds of up to 40 miles an hour. They'll get a ticket in my neighborhood. If you see a bison while driving, just drive past them slowly. Stay inside your car. Don't flip them off. They hate it. If you're on foot, be careful not to startle them. Call out to them to signal your presence. Then walk away. Hey, bison, how are you? Just me. Wild boars. Well, you know wild boars. It's like a pig, hairy pig. Hairy pig with tusks in the mountains. Wild boars. They're not particularly dangerous. Wild boars aren't. Feral swine carry as many as 30 diseases and 40 parasites, though, that can be harmful to the health of humans, livestock, and pets. So don't use your tongue when you kiss them. If you see them in your community, report wild boars to the wildlife official immediately. Saw a boar, man. It's right up there. All right, foxes. I've always wanted to see a fox. I never got to see a good fox. Just a really pretty fox, you know? And I don't mean that in a sexual way. I'm just saying, like a fox. A fox. Not Samantha Fox. I just dated myself. Anyway, since foxes are naturally afraid of humans, you shouldn't be frightened if you see one during the day. Just say boo. The fox will most likely flee. However, foxes can be dangerous to your pets, as they've been known to prey on small animals like rabbits, guinea pigs, and chickens. If a fox has been hanging around your home, try to scare it away by leaving shiny balloons. Boy, it scares me away. Urine-soaked cat litter. I got a lot of that. And capsicum-based repellent. Make loud noises like banging on pots and pans or blasting the radio. And people think you're crazy. It'll keep them away too. Coyotes. If you do spot a coyote and it doesn't run from you, try to scare it away by making yourself as big as possible. I try to do that a lot. Yelling at it, waving your arms, throwing small rocks toward. Well, how about big rocks? Let's do that. Or spraying it with water. Coyotes hate water, I'll tell you. Get away, coyote. All right, wolves. These powerful animals rarely attack humans. they're more likely to go after small pets or farm animals, a tendency which led them to be hunted to near extinction by settlers and farmers. If you do meet a wolf in the wild, stay calm, make eye contact, back away slowly, and play a little Warren Zevon. Ow! Werewolves of London. Yeah. Okay. Did he get in the Rock and Roll Museum? Hall of Fame? I think he did. He was nominated. I never heard. Crocodiles and alligators. This one scares me. If you make eye contact with an alligator on land, don't waste any time. Get the hell away. Run away as fast as you can. If you're lucky enough to be bitten, that's totally a misread sentence. Let me back up. If you're unlucky enough to be bitten by an alligator or crocodile in the water, go straight for the animal's most sensitive spots, the eyes or the snout. You won't be able to pry open the jaws, so gouging at the two most vulnerable parts is your best chance of keeping your vulnerable parts alive. All right, sharks. This was my fear as a kid. As terrifying as these predators seems, experts say you can escape a shark attack by remaining calm, swimming slowly away, and if the shark doesn't seem aggressive, you don't have anything to worry about. If the shark does start to attack, maintain eye contact. That's hard to do when you're autistic. I can't have eye contact with most people. I certainly can't with a shark. Make yourself as big as possible. Again, I've tried since high school. And hit them on the sensitive spots like the nose or the gills. Just keep doing it. How do you have the presence of mind to do that? You're being eaten by a shark and you're going to poke them in the nose and the gills. Here's one. This is the last one. And this is one that you might likely encounter. Raccoon. All right. Medium-sized mammals, they're not nearly as dangerous as cougars or bears, but they're a primary carrier of rabies. So if you see a raccoon that's acting weird, they're probably got rabies. Just avoid them. Don't pet them. Don't give them stuff. Don't give them food. Most raccoons are perfectly harmless, but it's still best not to interact with them. If you see one in the wilderness, simply ignore it and walk away. However, if the raccoon is hanging around your home, you'll want to scare it away with loud music. Celine Dion. I don't think they like Celine. Flashing lights. Keep these pests from coming back by securing garbage cans, keeping pet foods indoors, and sprinkling cayenne pepper around the outside of your home. Or Thai food. Really hot Thai food will do it as well. So there you go. Those animals, if you don't want those animals, if you encounter them, there's a few more I know out there. But those are the ones that I think we might have the most chance of running into. And I want to save your life. I want to help you out just a little bit because I care about you and I can't afford to lose any listeners. So, take care of yourself. If you see any of these guys in the wild, like bear, I'm kind of always a little bit afraid of a bear. I've seen bear attacks and they don't look good. They don't look fun. And I live in bear country. So there you go. That's just a little public service thing from me to you. I'm taking it easy today. I'm all right. I'm doing fine. I'm enjoying the spring so far. How about you? How's your life? Really? We never sit down and talk about you. It's always about me, and I hate that. But you could always call into the listener line and tell me about yourself. 678-348-0008. Hey, just let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you survived a bear attack, shark attack, geese are mean, and ducks too. They're animals just pissed off. Everybody's angry these days, even the animals. All right, I'm going to say goodbye to y'all, and I will see you hopefully Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. I'm scribbling it down right now. There we go. Thursday.